welcome everyone who is watching us this afternoon from wherever you're watching us from. This is the Women on the Frontlines show. It's a chat show and we do it here every Saturday 2 to 3 p.m. And this program is meant to bring on board or to showcase women's contribution in governance in Uganda and across the region. We are so delighted to have you this afternoon, and we are having an exciting conversation, and we are continuing with the series of women in politics that we started a few weeks ago. And on this show, we shall be bringing you senior women politicians and leaders across the Great Lakes region. We shall also be bringing you middle level or even younger politicians and leaders to showcase their stories, but also to discuss several topical issues that affect the populace of the Great Lakes region, particularly women. And I would like to welcome you once again. My name is Monicah Amoding, your host for this program. And I would like you to follow us every Saturday 2 to 3 p.m. Like, follow, share. Our stories here are very inspirational, and I think they can inspire another woman in their leadership journey. That is why on the show we have several guests, and these guests are not just the women leaders who are already there and those who have been there, but also others who are coming up, who are growing in their leadership journey. So we balance. We don't want to have only senior leaders. We have young women because we want to grow them in their leadership journey, to replace us in different places, but also to impact more in our countries, because we want to see more women leading, more women changing things, more women growing in their leadership and contributing to the development of our countries in the Great Lakes region. So today, with me on the show is a senior woman leader in Uganda, Honourable Santa Alum Ogwang. Have I got it right?
I give you 90%.
Very good. You know, I almost missed it. I confused it with Okot. But she is Santa Ogwal, not Okot. Santa Alum Ogwal.
Ogwang.
Ogwang.
Yes.
A politician, a woman leader from Uganda, and she's been in politics for quite a long time. She's serving her third term in the new 11th Parliament. Yes. Santa is my close friend. She's easy to work with, and we've been with her. We have common interests because we've shared with her different negotiating tables on women issues. Santa, good to see you.
Thank you, Honourable Monicah.
You're shining as usual.
Thank you.
And I think the colors here speak to the Great Lakes region.
Sure,
because it's a region which is a mixture
sure.
of cultures and
yes,
peoples.
And different people.
Yes, I want to welcome you, Santa.
Thank you
for
very
this
much.
show. You'll be talking to many women, especially inspiring others in their journey. Yes. And I want to share your story today with the world that will be watching us, but also discuss some of the issues that are affecting us in this East African region and also the Great Lakes at large. On the show also is a young woman from Kenya. See, this is a young woman. Yes, she's already occupying a great space. She's coming from the Great Lakes Institute of Strategic Studies. And that is an institute which is a think tank in the region. So she's here to journey with us on some of the issues of the Great Lakes. Joy, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for having
Joy
me.
Khanali, you're from which part of Kenya? The name sounds Ugandan, actually.
Yeah, I'm actually from the western...
Nearer Uganda.
Yeah, the western part of Kenya, that is Bungoma, Busia, and we're on the border with you people, so we are one.
And you see, we are looking towards the federation.
Yeah.
There are no more borders, actually.
Yeah.
I think Ugandans use, all the East African people are using identity cards, if possible, to travel across the region. So I think these things are moving faster than we expected. Very soon we shall be a federation.
Exactly.
I don't know who will be the first president of the East African
president.
It should be the female.
Yes.
Now that we have Suluhu, Her Excellency in Tanzania, we are close. I believe so. Women, we need to encourage each other.
Yeah, sure.
And then we have Joan Patience here. Joan Patience Atuhaire is coming from the Young Women Alliance on Human Rights. So she's already occupying a space. We want her to grow bigger than that. And you see why we want young women to come in these spaces is so that we don't stay out of politics. Politics is where the decisions are made. The decision making is at the top level. And we want to see more women, even sometimes you, Joy, and Patience here, you can sacrifice your job wherever it is and go into the murky waters of politics, because it all starts from there and then trickles down. So you're welcome, ladies. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And the approach of the show is that we share somebody's journey, a leadership journey, and peg our discussion around their journey of leadership. And today we are honored to have Santa, who is also a member of the Great Lakes Parliamentary Forum. The reason why we shall be having a little bit of a discussion on issues of the Great Lakes. Santa, I know you, we've journeyed together, but our viewers who are watching us today will be like, who is on the show today? So I'd like you to greet them and tell them one or two things about yourself. You know, as women, we don't talk about ourselves a lot. I noted that. We don't document, we don't write, we don't celebrate our stories. It's only other people who are like, oh, Monica, you've done ABCD. But for you to stand out and celebrate yourself, it's quite rare. That's why we have in this space. So let's utilize this space. Who is Santa?
Yes, thank you so much, Honourable Monica.
You're welcome.
And the viewers out there. From your comment, I want to start by saying that because of the social construct, women are not supposed to be in the public arena. So coming from that background of the social construction, where women are supposed to remain private, that also affects us and the way we do our things. I
had not thought about it in that way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So women prefer the private, you know, presentation.
You know, from how socially we are constructed, women were supposed to remain private. They were not supposed to speak in public. But now we are coming out. It's a process. That's why now you have very many women in politics. Women are now coming out in the public domain. So I just wanted to make a comment about that. But who is Santa?
Alum.
Sandra. Alum.
Sandra, actually.
Guang.
Yes.
Santa is a 3 times member of Parliament representing Oyam District. I'm a married woman with 4 children.
Great men or great women?
Great men.
Both?
2 men,
and
great
women.
men, and 2 great women.
Wow. I hope the women follow in your footsteps.
Somehow. Yes, I think I already have one who is a student leader. I think she's there. Even the young one, she's in senior 2, but she has been also participating in the leadership at that level. So I think they are trying to slowly follow the footsteps of mom. So I think right from my family, I'm already inspiring them to really become leaders. Yes. So I'm a member of Parliament, a 3 times member of Parliament for Oyam District. I joined Parliament in 2011.
We came together.
We came together with you.
Except now I'm not with you.
Still you will come back.
For a while.
For a while, yes. There is also some time need for you to break. That's why we have ourselves here, because you are out there and even seeing better. Yes, I'm a 3-term member of Parliament. I'm a UPC whip.
Wow.
Have
you always been a UPC whip?
Yes.
As if you're not serving for the first time.
Yes, this is, I was appointed a whip in 2016. That was when I was serving my 2nd term. And by God's grace, I'm here again serving my 3rd term. And I still maintain the same position.
Yes, UPC is one of the oldest parties in the country. But how is it going? You guys seem to be having so many issues.
The issues are everywhere in all, in all political parties. Talk of NRM, we have issues. Talk of UPC issues. FDC, we are here. We have been seeing. Yes.
But women must know parties are a vehicle. So you must know which party you have to belong to, an ideology of which party.
The ideology,
are you going to serve.
Sure. So I'm a member of the Forum of Great Lake Regions. I've just joined. This is my first time of participating and becoming a member of that party. And briefly,
I'll ask you later about some of your outputs in Parliament, but I want us to go right there, maybe just to ask our researcher. Joy is a researcher with the Great Lakes Institute for Strategic Studies, a supporter of this show, Center for Constitutional Governance. Together, we work together to ensure that we engage citizens. So this is why we are here, engaging, and also women leaders to engage. Maybe for people who are watching, you know, the Great Lakes region is quite not understood, Honourable, and we are glad you're now part of the Parliamentary Forum. I know that more is going to happen through your forum, but maybe Joy can help us understand. When we talk about Great Lakes, of course, the East Africa is within the bigger Great Lakes. Who are these countries? You know.
Thanks, Monica. So basically the member countries of the International Conference of the Great Lakes region are, just to mention but a few, Kenya, Uganda, Central Africa Republic, Tanzania, the Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan.
Are the two Congos there?
Yeah, the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Republic of Congo.
There is a difference. Yes.
Yeah. There's South Sudan, there's
Sudan itself,
Burundi,
Rwanda.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's
Zambia.
about Zambia is part of it.
Zambia, Angola.
What about Malawi? No, Malawi is not part. Angola, Zambia in the lower southern Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to thank you, because you see, we need to have a conversation around the Great Lakes region generally, the East African region, because there are now efforts. We hear a lot of efforts happening around coming together as regions, and we are going to have that conversation. We'll get back to it and the reasons why countries are coming together, issues of the economy, security, and many other things. Maybe that is part of the reason why the Great Lakes countries are together. But getting back to the story of Honourable Santa first, because we are interested in understanding who this great woman is and the leader, because women don't showcase their stories. So we want the few minutes we start with to showcase her life and know what she is all about. And usually, of course, to be in such a space, there should be a reason why, there's a mission why, there's a purpose why you keep going, waking up every day and going to Parliament, or going to your constituents, or going to the women's spaces, whatever it is. Would like to hear, what is it that you're working towards? You know, something that keeps driving you every day to wake up out of your bed and be a leader.
I think what drives me have started from very early childhood development stage, that I really, as a child, got interested, first of all, in leadership and really how to help the disadvantaged. And now, when I started participating in politics, just by, you know, attending rallies, I came to like it. And when I got married, to cut the long story short, but first of all, a little bit when I was a child, I like to participate in church activities. So much. Church. So much so that I even became a leader. In the church activities.
Church space.
My mother comes from the Anglican church, and then my dad was a Catholic. So in both churches, sometimes I would go with dad, sometimes remain with my mother. I participated in the church activities in the Catholic church, as well as the Sunday school in the Anglican church. Yes, so I started my leadership journey from that early age. Then later on, I joined the secondary school, where I was the chairperson debating club. I was the captain netball. And I forgot to tell you that even in Parliament, I'm the manager of the Parliamentary Sports Club. Yes, we do sports as members of Parliament with our partner states in East Africa, where we have Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Kenya, South Sudan. And of late, we are, I think, having also DRC.
Congo, or the Republic. There are two countries now.
Yes, the Republic.
Okay.
So I was a leader in primary. When I joined O-level, the secondary school, I was still a leader. I was a captain, I told you, netball. I was the dining prefect.
Wow. There's always a journey for every leader.
Yes. So later on, I became the vice chair, ONSA.
At national level?
At national, no, from
the region.
And when I joined university, actually I involved in the politics. I was the agent of so many candidates. I was also a leader of our cultural gala. You remember cultural gala?
Yes, the one of those days.
Yes. So we participated in them and we won.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yours has been smooth. It seems you have always moved from one step to the other. But I know there are challenges along the way. And there are stereotypes you've broken, actually.
Yes. But earlier on, when I was a young girl, you know, our home was near a campaign venue, where I remember Honourable Cecilia Wall, they used to come and campaign.
And debate.
And debate.
Wow.
And as a child, we loved it. Sometimes we would even climb the trees to make sure that we have a better view.
Wow.
Yes, because Honourable Cecilia really inspired me a lot because she contested against men. And I remember there was this short man who was very abusive.
In the debate?
In the debate. He was her opponent.
Wow.
And I would love the way she would respond with a strong voice. Yes. Even when she's abused, even when she's intimidated, she would remain there speaking with a lot of passion.
Wow.
So after my university education, of course, I got married to my husband. And when I reached home, that is now Oyam, where I'm married, newly married, and I found people in a meeting, and my father-in-law was the chairman
of the meeting.
And the chairman of that sub-county, UPC. So I heard them grumble that now we, you know, we are a big sub-county, but we have never produced a leader. Then for me, I said, oh, I think there is some
opportunity has come.
There's a space here.
Taking up the spaces.
Yes.
An opportunity when it's presented.
When it presented itself. So when the meeting was done, I moved to him. I approached him. I said, Muze, you know what? I heard people talking about identifying a leader. I'm here. For me, I am interested in it. I want to contest.
Wow.
Then he first looked at me and said, you mean? Then I said, yes, that way I cancel. I said, no, Parliament. I want to go to Parliament. Then he was like, but now you see, me, I'm a supporter. That where do you want to contest? I said, Oyam North constituency. I want a direct seat. That why don't you go for the women's seat? I said, no, me, I'm interested in the direct seat.
Wow. You already formed your mind about that.
Yes. Then he was like, but now I'm a party leader. I'm a strong supporter of Ben Wacha. By then he was the incumbent member of Parliament representing Oyam North.
Yeah.
Then he quickly asked me, have you talked to your husband?
About it?
About it?
Negotiating your way through.
Yes, as women, we are always supposed
you have to have, there are different spaces
you have to do consultation. Somebody must decide for you first before you make a decision. I said, no, Muze, I have not talked to my husband. First go back
and talk to
Kampala and talk to him. I said, that's fine. So I came back quickly.
Joan is in shock. Yes, as women, there are so many spaces you have to
you remember, I'm
negotiate your way.
I'm a born of Lira. This is Oyam District, where I'm newly married and fresh from the university. So I came back to Kampala. And then I approached my husband. I said, you know what? I got home. People were trying to look for a candidate. And our sub-county has never been represented. They have never produced a candidate. So for me, I asked Muze, I want to offer myself. Then he was like, but you know, there's no money. And you know, what did Muze tell you? I said, you know, he was like, I first come and talk to you. Are you willing to support me? That okay, if that is your interest, but we don't have money. Wow. I said, don't worry. Even if there is no money, I'm not going to wait. Money will come. I'm ready to do everything it takes to make sure that I'm there.
Wow.
So when he accepted, I went back to my husband, to my father-in-law.
Yes.
I said, Muze, look here, my husband has accepted. So now I'm ready and I'm not turning back. I said, now my daughter-in-law, you are putting me in a very strict corner. Now what do I do? Now, if that is the case, I don't want to stop you. Because as a sub-county, you have heard how people are really yearning for a leader.
Wow.
But they think that the only thing that I'm going to do, I will now not be a participant
in the election
in the
process.
elections.
Ah.
I will just leave you, but I also want to advise you that now UPC will not accept you, to be their candidate because
there's already a
already
Ben watcher.
there is a candidate. 2, you are coming in for a men's position.
Ah! The stereotypes are
Because
coming.
yes, there is somewhere where women are supposed to contest. But now you want this, and it's not going to be easy for you. I said, Muse, I'm ready. I want to try from there. I've already made up my mind. Besides, it's my friend who is holding the position of the women, and that is Honourable Beta Mogi. So also me, I don't want to go and contest
with
again
my
as a friend and a fellow woman.
Yeah.
But there's this one. Okay.
And Ben had already served some time, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now he says, I'm not going now to be there. You now, look around. So I went to the party. People rejected me.
Straight up.
This is an abomination.
Hey.
How do we see a woman?
Wow.
Then now I came back. I said, now what do? I had a cousin to my husband. I sat down with him. I said, you know what? Do you know people here? Because I was newly married. That yes. I said, take me to whom you think can really help me.
In this campaign.
The one who can be my agent. The NRM was fully covered, UPC, everything. I said, now, me, I'm going to go independent.
Wow.
Yes. So he started taking me. Some relatives now came. Started taking me. First of all, they offered for me a small motor
vehicle,
cycle.
Yes.
These small, tiny ones. These days I don't see them. So that was our means.
So is that how you campaigned throughout the village?
Yes, throughout.
Wow.
We were moving on that thing. They would tell me that there is so and so in that sub-county, go to him. There is so and so in that parish, go to him. So that's how I formed my campaign team. Yes. And of course, this was not a simple task. I was contesting against 5 prominent men.
Wow.
Ben Watcher, you know.
Very good orator.
Very good orator. And very good in parliament.
Yeah.
We had Honourable Crispus Ayena.
Wow. Ayena was in that race.
Yes. Those were my competitors. The lawyer for Ongwen.
Ongwen, yes. At the ICC, yes.
We had a psychiatrist.
Wow.
A psychiatrist, a doctor. We had, is now the Ugandan ambassador to the UK, Julius Peter, His Excellency Julius Peter Moto.
What?
So those were the men in the ring. And I also joined the ring.
Wow.
And I want to tell you it wasn't easy.
I need you to continue on that conversation. Because you see, for this particular show, we are trying to inspire women.
Yes.
That it's not about affirmative action.
Yes.
We need to grow as women and how to grow affirmative action. We should maintain it, but also let us challenge ourselves.
Yeah.
If Santa could do that at that point, why can't a woman do it now and win that political seat? Joan, do you have a comment? I saw you nodding. Because Honourable has to continue with that discussion. It's very, very inspiring. I didn't know you contested in a direct seat.
Yeah, I started from there.
Actually.
Yes.
Or even Joy. Is our story picking some notes in you?
Yeah. I actually feel so inspired considering she was just out of college.
Imagine.
And something I've picked from her story is we need mentors and a very strong support system because she got people who are guiding her and
supporting
told her,
her
if
and
you go to this
encouraging
person, if you go here, you're going to get this support. And with the current age and day, I know women are getting a lot of this guidance from us. That's why we have these spaces here.
Yeah.
And I just wish more of us could be inspired.
You note how she negotiated her way all through. Even when society seems to be saying this is not an area for women to go through, and yet you can convince that very society of yours to support you. Yes, Joan.
I think for me what stands out is the fact that she actually knew what she wanted.
And went for it.
She just had... We are in need of a leader, and she positioned herself. She went and said, I am here, I am available, I am willing and ready to serve. Also reflecting upon the journey towards that position. It's not like she just woke up out of the blue. She actually had steps being a leader in the netball
very
team,
important.
Debate, and all these different experiences molded her idea of how life would be and leadership. I think I see myself in that position.
the growth of a leader.
netball.
Her growth can
Yes,
be traced,
yes,
really.
yes.
And being the person she is now, you cannot doubt how strong she is,
yeah.
of course, how she has grown and, the strength that she is. I know she's
Yeah.
a very strong leader, even in
Yeah.
Parliament there. Yeah, so taking up opportunity. She took that opportunity and ran with it. For you young people, I think you need to know the times and the seasons when your leadership is needed, because that is also very important. So yes, Honourable, you are breaking the barriers as well. You are breaking the stereotypes.
Yes.
Because I was going to ask you, what are some of the stereotypes you've had to overcome along the journey? And you're already talking about that.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. It wasn't a easy one because when I joined the ring, first of all, people were too surprised and shocked
To see a woman.
Who, not a young girl. You remember?
That was 15 years ago.
Who is this young girl who doesn't have respect for men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, coming
Wow.
in for the things, the seat of
Double
men.
jeopardy. Yes.
This is an abomination. But then,
A woman and young.
Yeah, woman and young, and going in for the main thing. You know, that was so surprising.
Wow.
Then when I started now campaigning, debating, I think I spoke well. And then they were like, please wait a minute. They would tell me, you have a future.
Your future is bright.
Yes, your future is bright. We think, we think.
Yes, yes.
But they gave me all sorts of names. They intimidated me. One of the candidates even sent a spy to my home in Kampala here.
Wow.
And I lived with him for 1 week, not knowing that
That was spying on you.
spying on me.
Wow.
Yes, I was young and not yet experienced, so it didn't occur to me that somebody could even send a spy.
Wow.
Yes.
Santa's story is so interesting. I didn't know. You see how women keep their stories hidden to themselves. You don't know what they've gone through to come to this point.
Oh, they gave me all sorts of names.
Wow.
Yes, they called me all sorts of names.
The first one, the other one,
remember, my father, because the first man who really tried to help me was NRM, the chairman of that constituency, NRM.
Wow.
Then my father said, please, in my compound, I don't
NRM.
want to see anything related to NRM.
Wow.
But then, remember, UPC was already fully covered. So now, I decided to to go independent. But even when I went independent, in our language, when you are standing as an independent, it means you are on your own.
You're on your own.
And you are standing with your head down. Then they would say, what type of woman is this? Can you imagine a woman standing with her head down and then the legs up?
That is so interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
So I had to endure that.
Did you make it?
I concentrated, and then finally, because I didn't have money, remember, all my agents were bought at the last minute.
At the last minute.
They were all bought, and I became the third.
In that race,
yes,
you beat two other men.
Two other men.
Wow.
That was.
You didn't come last.
Yes, that was so encouraging.
Yes. There is always a first time for some people when you lose an election and come back and get back to that same seat. So Santa was able to win the next election and came to Parliament. Tell us about that part of the story until where you are now.
Yeah, that one ended like that. Of course, I was a bit discouraged, but the late Dr. Kule Park, who was the MP for Oyam County South, after learning and then hearing about me, decided to call me to convince me that I should leave that seat.
Wow.
For Ben, since I'm a party member, there's always party discipline. I leave that seat for Ben Wacha. They are soon creating a new district called Oyam. So he went ahead and even called us together with my husband to persuade me as a party member and loyalist to leave that seat. So somehow he promised to help me with even the finances and everything, and also campaign.
Wow.
So I changed my mind and went for affirmative action. That is the women seat now.
On Oyam District.
Oyam District.
Yes.
And it's true, it was created in 2007, and I competed again as Honourable Beatrice Lagada, who beat me by 1,800, and I was completely rigged.
Wow. So you lost the second time.
So I lost the second time.
You never gave up.
I was, first of all, a bit discouraged, but somehow...
Wow.
Joan! Because of joining politics, I was doing my master's. So I left studies and went for politics, and that was really very bad for me.
Yeah.
Because my supervisor got pissed off. I did not even tell her that I was going for politics. So at first she was like, I'm not going to supervise you. And, you know, I'd also missed another opportunity to go for my master's abroad. And, you know, it was really so discouraging.
Yes.
But after like 1 year, I gathered again
courage.
Wow. I said, no, I'm not going to leave this thing. Because I was beaten and I was rigged.
Politics is not for the simple-hearted and for the faint-hearted.
Yeah. And the gap was only 1,800.
Wow.
Besides, I saw people loved me, so I said, no, I'm not going to give up. So, come 2011, somehow I'd got some private work I was doing. So, people started now looking for me.
Themselves.
From all parties. NRM, UPC, FDC, they all zeroed on me that we want this lady to become our member of parliament for the district.
Wow.
Yes, so somehow I said, okay, let me give it a try.
Another try.
Again.
The third time.
The
Resilience,
third time.
ladies.
Yeah. So now,
yes.
When I went for the third time, I really scored highly and I passed with a gap of 12,000.
Wow.
That was 2011.
Yes.
2016, of course, I contested for the second win. I even won by bigger margin.
In the next term?
Yes, by 50,000.
Wow.
That was 2016. 2021
now where we are.
Even a wider
gap
I got 91% this time around. And winning from all the polling stations.
Wow.
So politically, that has been my journey.
Isn't it interesting? Aside, you know, resilience in there, the issue of taking advantage, you know, opportunities come and, you know, you have to present yourself, you have to prepare,
grab it,
and also give up certain decisions, certain things for politics. Many consultations, negotiations to be done here and there. And I note one thing that the young women may be interested on this show is, and those who are watching us, is the issue of finance, Honourable.
Access to resources is a big
Can you talk
problem.
a little bit about that? How have you been able, because the question we are asked everywhere right now is financing. How can I finance my campaign as a young woman? How can I get going? Because we see you there, you did not have money from the first point, the second. Somehow you managed to get a partner. The late Dr. Okulo Park, you know, somehow, those kind of things. People may not know that there are resources that are unutilized in terms of people, human beings and others. Maybe just one or two things for Joanna and others who are watching and may be interested in joining politics. It's a challenge for many of them.
Yes, I think when I joined the ring, as I've told you, the late Dr. Okulo Park identified me and really told me, you know what, I'm ready to mobilize resources for you. But unfortunately, he fell sick. He was admitted in South Africa. Yes, he tried, but mobilized some little money
for you,
for me, which was not enough. Some friends, the relatives also came up and then supported. They would really give me some few support.
But you relied on alliances. Sometimes allying and, you know, working with people.
Then also my husband was very supportive. Yes, he also came in.
Put in a little here and there.
But I think, largely speaking, the goodwill of the community, because I was really good and they saw that.
They had seen it over
they
time.
had seen. But also some of the women organization also help in a way. In capacity building. I remember they called us for some meetings. They gave us little money, for about 200,000.
That can print some
flyers. That also helped. And my first posters was black and white.
Wow.
Because of
I
lack
note
of
that
resources.
the women's movement has started financing here and there. It's little money people contribute. Individual women contribute money and send to a few women in the country. So there is a lot of discussion around financing. I think we need to have a particular show to, you know, have a conversation as we go forward. But just to wind up on the issue of stereotypes, this is a big concern. Some of the things we have to, you know, overcome along the journey of leadership as women. They are still here with us. They were with our predecessors. Maybe just a comment on that, because we need to show this journey to many women and how we can break those barriers along the way. You talked about the stereotype of, you know, of course, the culture is one of our biggest enemies. Has it changed? Are people's perceptions about that seat changed now? Are more women contesting in the direct seats since you contested?
No, in my area, I think my contesting in that particular seat changed a lot of things. Because now in the county south, Oyam County South, we have a woman.
Who is
and
the
that
minister?
is Honourable Amoding, the minister.
And you've been two big, strong women
strong
in that
women.
region.
In the last elections, we also had a lady who contested in the same constituency, Oyam North constituency.
Wow.
And all along, wherever she would go, said, Santa started from here. And she was good and she's still good.
Wow.
So I also want to be like her. I want to have the number of women.
Wow.
So we are from 2001 and up to the last elections, we have been having women
more contestants.
Yes, trying. But one thing that I see is that the stereotypes are still there. Because I cut across the district, I see how people talk, I hear how they talk. And when the Honourable Betty is like, you know, you, go to the women's seat. What are you looking for from here? Even the voters sometimes, like when they are making comments, for us, they laugh us that we have elected a woman. But with our woman, we are doing well. So you get it. Sometimes they also feel shy.
To say that we are being led by a woman.
We are being represented by a woman.
Wow.
But again, they are quick to hear that. But much as she's a woman, she's doing great. Better than so many other men. So
actually, we have always noted a woman. What a man can do, a woman can do better. And
true.
you see, in Parliament, you've noticed, Honourable Santa, that women do quite a lot. They outperform men in the constituency because they work as mothers. They have whatever little they have, they share with the constituency. But we are noting, ladies, that the burden on women is getting real because as a district woman MP, you can see you have several other constituencies, but you do the same work. So we'd like to encourage women who are out there that these seats are for us. So in the next election, we need to find more women in the district seats, the direct elected seats as well. And so we are running a campaign to ensure that women contest in different seats and not just compete for affirmative action. Of course, the debate has been around pushing women who are in district seats like you, Honourable, and saying, no, you have matured in this thing, now you go the other side. Does that solve the problem we have at hand?
No, I think it doesn't solve, because when you look at the statistics, the number of women who succeed on direct seat, it's really very miserable.
Still very miserable.
It's very miserable.
It's been 14 about there, not more than 20
not more than
it started.
20.
Yes.
So that shows you that we have a fundamental problem.
Yes.
And the problem, to me, the way I look at it, this stereotype starts from our homes, starts from our mothers, starts from the women. They are the ones who are guarding these stereotypes.
Yes.
Because when a child is born, I remember when I was a young girl, the boys used to play with cars to make cars.
If they find him playing with this rope for jumping.
And now the cars, they used to make it using something like sorghum. You know, this thing which is sweet like sugar cane. And for us girls, we also wanted to go and benefit from chewing that sugar cane. But whenever our mothers could get us playing
the boy games,
the boy games, then that was a big problem. You a girl, you are supposed to come this side.
Come to the kitchen.
No, make pots. For us, we are supposed to mold the pots. And you know, you cannot eat clay. But for us, our interest was the other side.
Because there's some eating as well.
Yes, so you see, these stereotypes starts from homes, from our community.
And it is us mothers.
It's us mothers who are the ones guarding these stereotypes. Telling our little girls that, please, you are not supposed to be there. You are supposed to be this side.
And the boys now don't still do housework. In our modern homes, the boys are not doing housework. It is only the girls. You say the boys, you can do play, do other things.
Yes.
But I think we need to teach our children all these gender roles to, you know, to balance them. Okay. I think the young women are enjoying this show, and I'm sure those who are watching, this journey is very interesting. I did not know Honourable Santa had a very powerful story like this one. And I know many people will be inspired by your discussion. Joanna, do you have a comment maybe before we move forward?
I am impressed. I am actually inspired. Because you know it's a different feeling altogether hearing it from someone who has
been there,
done it. Because a lot of the times, as she said, women parliamentarians are not coming out to talk about their journeys. Even when there are women in leadership conferences, things like that, having access to a parliamentarian to come and tell you, you guys, in my first campaign, I had no money.
I even lost.
Yes, to just give you that motivation.
Yes.
Even as broke as you are, you can actually contest. I think it's very powerful, and we need to have more platforms that encourage women, that even when you don't have money, you have the goodwill, you have the passion. Start to create alliances that are meaningful to help
that can push you.
Yeah, I think that's very powerful for me
as well. I think that is a very powerful lesson. Joy, yes.
For me, I think I'm very, very, very encouraged. And something I've learned from Honourable Santa is keep your eyes on the prize, because she tried so many times, and also to just do your thing. Even if they can't see now, there's a time when they're going to see it.
Yes.
The way she kept trying to get the position.
Keep pushing.
And parties did not want her at first. But when it got to 2011, now parties wanted to now get her. So just do your thing, because when you think no one is looking at you, there are actually people who are looking, and somehow, someday, things are going to
work out.
So that has really encouraged me.
Joy, you actually have a very inspirational leader, that Molly, what is her name in Western Kenya, the Member of Parliament for Western, the woman who is very, very active. Odhiambo, Millie.
Yeah,
I'm sure Millie inspires you wherever she is. She's one of those big, great women that we look forward to. Okay, so Honourable, your story is powerful. I'm sure you should be invited in different mentoring spaces to speak to aspirants, young women who are aspiring to come into politics along the way. I know, Santa, you have been working a lot around the women's movement. And, we have to share our story. People must know that we are doing a lot of things. I would like you just to share with the viewers 1 or 2 things, landmarks you're proud about since you started this leadership journey. How have you impacted society? What has been your contribution? 1 or 2 examples. I know there are many.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, one, let me go a little bit backward. During my university thesis,
yes,
I wrote about income generating activities.
Okay.
About the women in internally displaced camps.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that one inspired so many people, including myself, because after writing that dissertation and I was elected a member of parliament, that's where my passion now went. I started so many groups, small groups in a parish. I can even be having like 4 groups, and some of them have really grown to date.
Wow.
To bigger things. Others are now at the circle level. So I feel so proud. Even when these government programs of Women's Fund, WEP, the by the way, as a district, we did fairly well. We are amongst the Myoga and even the Women Funds.
Because of such initiatives.
Yeah, because of such initiatives. And so many people recognize that, including, for example, Honourable Cecilia Ogwal the other time told me in Parliament that, hey, Santa, I think you did a great job. These groups of yours that have started, really, it has really helped your people to do better, even in these Myoga things that we are crying left and right. So for me, it's one thing that I'm really very proud of.
Wow.
Then secondly, I also inspire so many girls. They always come and tell me there are others I'm trying to help pay school fees, and the way I present myself is so inspirational to them. Yes. So in the arena of health, education, I'm doing a lot of things. Yes.
A lot of things women do and they don't talk about them.
Yeah, true.
We don't talk about what we do. But certainly their lives you're changing. You're inspiring other young women, girl child education and empowerment.
And the girls, I only don't stop at talking to them as girls, but even go through these groups, the women groups,
support them.
Through church functions, whenever I get opportunity to talk, I always encourage women that me, I'm from a humble background.
Wow.
My mother used to be like you, but she never gave up. She talked to me as a child that carry on with your education.
Wow.
Education is your father. Education is your husband.
Wow.
So as I was growing, every time I look at a man, That was not my husband. My husband was what? Education.
Wow.
And my father told me, you will get your husband from the university. And indeed, it happened like that. So I also relate this story to them. Being a member of parliament, I always get that platform to talk to them. So I encourage women that you look at me. Don't think that because you are a poor woman, you cannot
educate your children.
Yes, you raise these girls. Let them study. They will even fetch better and even more dowry than these two, three. Yes. So I think through that, I've encouraged so many mothers, first of all, and even parents in general, and even so many girls when I share with them my story from a humble background, even when I had nothing, and to now where I am. So they are really so much encouraged.
Wow.
And I really feel proud
I'm sure
about
Joan
that.
here is going to write something about your story. Joan is a young feminist, a writer, and also a programs officer. So the writing aspect in her, she's listening keenly.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing a lot. You're not writing. Yes. Yeah. So maybe any comment, we need to move on to something else. I think her story is so rich.
Yeah.
We can't exhaust it here.
Yeah.
She's a very inspirational leader. Maybe just one or two comments and then
I think for me, importantly, the understanding that when women achieve a certain level of opportunity or success, it's important for us to be a bridge for other women.
To multiply it, yeah.
To join, instead of us pushing each other down and having hate speech about one another, manifesting all these stereotypes that she has talked about. No, you can't. How can you stand for direct seat? Why don't you? You know, we need to be our own support structure.
Absolutely.
I need to be the person Joy can move to and say, I want to be an MP, and I will say, Joy, I know Honourable Amoding.
Santa.
Let's run together and go consult,
yes,
you know?
Yes.
So I think for me that is really powerful.
Very powerful. And also multiplying yourself.
Yes.
Honourable, that's what you're doing in the villages. You're multiplying other young leaders through your, your engagements with them and growing other women, helping other women, When you grow, you must be able to multiply other young women through you and also grow other leaders to reach where you have. I'm so inspired by your story, and I know many women will be. Joy, I want to move on to the issue of East Africa, Great Lakes. Now that we have the honorable member here who is in the Great Lakes Forum, I think for this show we could also do a little bit of discussion about the Great Lakes. These about 12 countries or so. This whole conversation of East Africa, this whole conversation of Great Lakes, I don't know if there is any benefit for the ordinary people, for the ordinary Ugandans, ordinary East Africans, and the people who are in the region. So, Honourable, I don't know what we can say, but in terms of the Great Lakes, we have seen Uganda. First of all, let's use the Ugandan example to understand this issue better. Uganda contributed about 40% of its revenue, income, or rather, its monies as a country to South Sudan when they were constructing that road. I don't know how many years ago, more than 10 ago. And right now we are hearing Uganda talking about building this road of DRC. And we don't know how much money is involved yet, but the talk of involving yourself in another country's, development. It is a bit interesting, and we need to understand why our countries are involved in these things. But also, when you go to the areas of peacemaking, Uganda is everywhere. It is also in elections of other countries, perhaps in one or another. We've seen Uganda in South Sudan, brokering the peace, negotiations with Riek Machar and Salva Kiir, in Burundi, in DRC, in Sudan, when Bashir was ousted. And of course, that is an issue of course, peace processes and all that. But also around peacekeeping, the missions Uganda has in Somalia. Is Somalia part of the Great Lakes? No.
They applied.
They applied recently. I think because of their conflict and all that, they have not been admitted to many spaces. So in terms of peacemaking, peacekeeping missions, Uganda is involved in all these things. Why do you think this is happening? Is it relevant? Why must Uganda be involved in those kind of conversations around the politics, around the economy, around the security? Do we benefit as a country?
Yes, first of all,
maybe Joe, you'd also want to comment on that, I think, but let the Honourable go first. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Honourable. First of all, you are talking about a 12-member countries coming together. That is big enough for by any standard and for anything. Talk about the market, that is the economy.
Yes.
Talk about the security, you know.
You secure your borders.
You secure your borders. Talk about, you know, the unity is strength. Yes, when we come together like that, we benefit a lot.
Yes.
But now, back to Uganda. Why we see Uganda all over in the negotiation, in peacekeeping missions, and so many things. First of all, I want to say that I'm proud of my country.
Uganda.
Beautiful country. Gifted by nature.
Wow.
And a country which loves peace.
She's a nationalist.
Yes. You know, where there is peace, the greatest beneficiary is the
people.
The woman first.
Oh.
Yes, where there is peace.
I don't know why I didn't think of. I was running to something else. But it is the woman who is the beneficiary.
Yes, it's the woman who is the greatest beneficiary. Okay. Why? Because when countries are at war with one another or within
its borders,
internally, the greatest burden is borne by the women.
Wow.
The men will always be at the battlefront. They will run away to hide, leaving the women behind to shoulder all sorts of responsibilities.
Wow.
Including even thinking for them at night you don't sleep.
Wow.
Where is the father of my children?
Where is the man? Will he come back alive?
Will he come back alive? You know, women become a beast of burden.
Oh wow.
In such situations, looking for food, the children are there. You know, it becomes too much for the women.
Very
so
true.
where there is peace, the people who benefit most are the women.
Wow.
And where there is
war,
the people who are so vulnerable are the women.
Wow.
So for me, as a woman first, I really applaud the chief executive of our country, that is our president, for really pursuing that line.
Yes.
You know, when there is peace in the neighborhood, we also
enjoy that
we
peace.
enjoy and benefit.
Yeah.
Let's handle it from the economic
I think many
point
people
of view.
have misunderstood it, but when when they are questioning what the government is doing, when these issues are being discussed, I don't know, a lot of misconception.
Yes.
Especially, I'm surprised that you are speaking from the alternative government, but you're applauding the sitting government for
You see,
that.
before I become alternative government, I'm a woman first. My eyes must be focused on the woman down there. What is good for her? What is good for a woman is good for all.
the country.
For the country.
Okay.
Yes. So secondly, when there is peace, you see that trade even flourishes.
Wow.
We have freedom of movements of goods and even people,
Across
goods and
the border.
services across the border.
So
For me, the participation of Uganda in peacemaking, whether in Congo, whether in South Sudan, whether in the Central African Republic, for me, it's really a tick. It's a plus.
It is a plus.
It's a plus. First of all, for it strengthens our economy, the GDP increases, and even our people, their incomes increases because they are able, when there is peace, somebody from Oyam, from Gulu, from Yumbe
is able to
move across the border up to Busia.
Yeah.
So that one is very important.
Very important.
To the increasing the incomes of the women and our people down there at the local level. So for me, securing peace inside and outside is really very important.
It has benefits.
You have mentioned something about constructing roads in South Sudan and now DRC. I think it goes a long way, the same principle, that once the roads are secured, yes, right now even we have so many of our businessmen and women in South Sudan doing business there. And if the roads are okay, it isn't. Their goods will not get spoiled along the way. So the greatest beneficiary are these small business men and women trying to make ends meet, trying to really support the economy. By the way, our economy is so much supported by the private sector and the informal sector. These people who are doing these small businesses. So when the road is constructed where there is no road, I think we benefit more. Our people benefit more. So for me, yes, there are issues there, but also I look at a bigger picture. I look at it from a gender perspective. Yes.
Wow, that's very important. That is an interesting way to framework to analyze it, because then if you see it from that national perspective, you go beyond your party ideological orientations and you see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the market, security of the region, and also the security of the persons,
and
the women.
Finally, you see, Uganda is very receptive to the refugees. When we go out there and make peace, that means that we are first of all saving ourselves because we don't have enough resources also to take care of. But also the children and the women out there who are suffering, when they are at peace, they also enjoy their motherland. And they, you know, when you are a refugee, it's not an easy life. So that way also, we are trying to solve the problem when it's still at its early stages.
Wow. Honourable has broken down this very intricate question of Great Lakes, the relevance of East Africa. Many people don't seem to appreciate even why that conversation should be going on. But I think that she has done a very good job in helping an ordinary person understand why. And of course, when you look at the situation in the Great Lakes right now, from DRC Congo to Central Republic, you know, Central African Republic, to Somalia, to Sudan, to South Sudan, the whole region is engrossed in conflict and wars. And as she has ably summarized, it is the women who are affected. That's why we must take more concern on this discussion at this level. Joy, do you want to make a comment before we go for a break? And maybe Joanna on that issue, then we can go to another item shortly.
I would like to just add a little bit on what Honourable Santa has mentioned, because she's really brought out the key aspects of this discussion. And I think the purpose of having the Great Lakes region or the East African region is just to show that we as countries kind of we need each other.
We need each other. Yeah. We are interdependent.
Yeah, and this actually came out more clearer early this year when we had a trade dispute between Uganda and Kenya, where
but that seems to be happening every other year, you know. What's not happening, you know?
Yeah, when Kenya was saying, oh, Ugandan maize has a lot of aflatoxin.
Difference of interest.
And then Uganda refused milk from Kenya and all that. And we could tell that farmers were really
affected.
Suffering.
That is true.
And there's this podcast I was listening by a climate change, because my area is climate change, by a professor in, I think, a university in Canada, and she was calling the women the invisible experts. Because when climate change is coming up and there's drought, food security, when you go to the farms, most people who are digging in the farms are women. Yeah, and even during these trade disputes, Uganda was saying, oh, our maize is getting bad, blah, blah, blah. And the women are the ones who are suffering because they're not getting the profit. They cannot feed their children.
They cannot educate them.
Yeah, they cannot educate them. And it's a whole circle of events and after effects. And you could tell that as much as the border was suffering and all that, there's that one person at the grassroots who was really, really not doing so well. And this food security brings the issue of conflict, because now communities cannot, maybe they cannot graze here, or they cannot get what they want from each other. So I think she has really highlighted that we do need each other. And if my neighbor, if I bring up this fence and I don't help my neighbor to fence on their side, it means I'm not also safe.
You are not safe.
If I have a mansion and my neighbor has and he's not doing so well, it means I'm not safe. They'll definitely come to me and get my things. So we really need to build each other. And I know we've not yet gotten to that capacity, but I like how Europe is. And I like the fact that we've really adopted the East African passport, where we are really trying to open up
the borders
and make sure that
open borders.
Yeah, the open borders where a Kenyan can come to Uganda easily, or to Tanzania, and that will bring a lot of development. And I look forward to such a future. So thank you so much for
Joanna, I have noticed something from their discussion, the role of leaders. You know, when these people lock themselves away in the Great Lakes conferences. You know, they're making decisions, and they're making decisions for the ordinary person. And so that link is very important. You as a feminist leader, I think you might be having a comment there. And when she talks about the trade wars that our country's had, 2 presidents, cabinet and parliament sit back somewhere and make a decision which has a trickle-down effect. What does that speak to our transformational leadership? What women actually could do more and better in such circumstances?
Okay, so I think in respect to the East African community, there has been progress, because the East African community is not something that came up yesterday.
Recently.
It started in the 1960s, and it was only until 2000 that we had an instrument being ratified to ensure that we have direction. These are the pillars we are going to follow in terms of economics, policy, etc. So in terms of where we have gone in supporting women to achieve fullest potential, even that instrument that was developed in Article 5, it gives mandate for the East African community to have gender quotas, to give representation to women on the platform. And it's because of those gender quotas that we have people like Rebecca Kadaga taking up positions to represent Uganda at the East African Legislative Assembly. So I believe that it has really been a journey. Unfortunately, the impact of the East African community, in my opinion, is not very widely
by the ordinary people.
It is only when you go to the internet and you want to know those
something
details
about them
that the impact is limited to only beneficiaries. There is not much noise about how much
we are interrelated,
we are interrelated
that we are having here.
Yeah, so for me, I feel like the East African community, of course, is a very beautiful project, but it just needs to be worked upon more.
And popularized and discussed more. Before we wind up, I think we have like a few 2 minutes to go for a break. Honourable, I think the young leader here raises an important issue in terms of progress around gender. I heard you people, you and Honourable, the one from Rwanda in that meeting, Karo Kamusime, discussing the issue of gender parity. I know we are going to discuss more around that issue in the Great Lakes and the East African region. But do you feel there is an improvement? Because you are raising issues of gender in that meeting, and Joanna, I think, is raising that we are moving, but it seems there are still gaps. Is the East African region moving towards gender parity? You at that level, are you seeing progress by the various countries towards achieving that, you know, those gender policies, gender transformation, advancement in those various sectors that we are talking about? Should we have hope now that you people are working
more? Yes. You know, we should keep hope alive. And for me, I see that there is progress. First of all, when you look at Rwanda, they are doing so well. Home here, we are not very badly off. There is some progress. And we are the doorsteps.
I'm getting jittery a little and uncomfortable with where we are. We are so stuck at the affirmative action at 189 right now.
189. But that is something when you compare to some other countries. But I'm not saying that we are okay. There's still a lot that needs to be done. And if you look at the top level, we are really not doing well. So far, we have only one female president. And how did she come about? By God coming, living each year and coming down. After seeing that,
we shall come back from there. We'll start from there when we come back from the show. I mean from the break. We shall come back from the break and begin right from there. What does the presidency of Her Excellency President Suluhu mean to the region, especially to the women's fraternity across this region? I hope that we are learning and getting inspired with what is happening in Tanzania. That's a discussion we are going to pick up when we return from this break. Our viewers, we are discussing issues of East Africa, Great Lakes region, and it's just a conversation on its relevance and, of course, the positioning of the woman in the East African Great Lakes region and how we can do more in terms of our contribution as women. So, Honourable, we want to reflect a little bit on the issue of women's leadership in the region. Of course, this whole show is about women's leadership and women's contribution in governance. But this happening of the new presidency of Madam, Her Excellency, Madam Suluhu in Tanzania, I think it was a fresh breath of air, and it could be an area of inspiration for women leadership. Do we hope to see other women presidents coming up in the East African region in the short term, say 10 years, 20 years from now? I think we're looking forward to a presidency of some sort.
Yes, that is our desire. And I want to start by saying that as women, we have the population.
In the region.
In the region.
In our countries.
Look at Uganda. I think we have 51.8%.
0.8%. We could even say 52.
Yes, 52%.
Yeah.
And if we are to go by that, there's no reason as to why we shouldn't have a female president. Yeah, going by what happened in Tanzania, Her Excellency Suluhu, I think that one is very inspiring to the women out there.
Yes.
It gives a lot of hope.
Yes.
A lot of courage. And honestly speaking, we now have got a reference point whereby people, you know, at first everyone was like, oh, what is going to happen? What does the Constitution say? You get it?
Is she going to make it?
Is she going to manage? And we heard, we were very keen that, no, they wanted to get a man. And we were like, oh, what is going to happen? But I want to tell you that she's already seated there.
Wow.
She's the chief executive.
Wow.
She's the number one. She's
the
the commander.
It seems, ladies, that women have been socialized to think now that we cannot be presidents. Women seem to be comfortable. And you know, when that happened, when Suluhu came, it seems women did not celebrate that much. Maybe because of this mentality that we have seen men everywhere. So can it be possible that a woman can be president in this era? So I don't know these young people, what they are thinking in that direction. Are we hoping to have young presidents anytime soon?
Yes,
Joanna,
we are.
feminist leader.
Of course we are. I want to reflect upon the time Suluhu came into power. It was in the middle, actually at the peak of the pandemic. And we all remember what Magufuli had done. They were not recording or registering COVID cases. There was no transparency. Everything just seemed to be falling apart. So everyone is thinking, what is this woman going to do if Magufuli has failed? What can she do?
A woman do.
I think she has handled it extremely well. She has managed to actually even inspire respect from for instance, the army, which many people feel like cannot be got from civilians. So I think she sets the bar for leadership of women, for women occupying political positions. And also, she also encourages other people who want to stand for positions
that you can do it. Yeah.
If you're a Muslim woman, your religion is no longer a barrier to you standing and assuming a position. You can.
So you're inspiring women actually to go out, not to wait until what Honourable said, the hand of God. Women seem to be waiting for the hand of God. Now, Honourable Alupo here is a vice president, and some people were celebrating and saying, okay, we have now taken over the vice presidency. You never know. Maybe something can happen like the one of Tanzania. No, we should not wait for such interventions. That's what my team is saying here. We should be able. We are ready. We are ready for leadership. But Joy, there seems to be a backlash. Even as she's president now, there seems to be a backlash on her presidency. Would you like to just have a conversation on that?
Yes, and this does not only revolve around her leadership. It's any woman who is a leader. Once you walk in a room and you get the mic and you're told to talk about something, people are always waiting for you to make a mistake. Always waiting for you to say something wrong, or they feel like you're not enough. And women in leadership sometimes feel like they're walking on eggshells because you're so afraid to make mistakes. And that's why when you mentioned that there wasn't that celebration, people had so many what ifs. What if she doesn't do this? What if she doesn't lead people well? What if? And once she came in, people were keen to know, is she going to bring back the mask? Is she going to encourage people to do vaccination? Is she going to accept that there's actually COVID? So I think that women have all this, so many people making them doubt themselves. But like Joan said, I really like how she handled the whole leadership. She didn't say it's coming, I'm sure, because naturally, as women, it's usually the man to lead and we follow in everything. That's true. They lead and we follow. And I'm sure maybe she wanted to work under a leadership of someone else, and she didn't come. She didn't see it coming, and now she's here. Wow. She has no option of going back. And this brings something about my mom, what she tells me: when you're pregnant, it's either you give birth or not, because there's nothing you can do about it. And this was her case when it came to leadership. She had to do it because that was her time.
That was her time.
So I like how she took it.
So that is very, very important. And also the fact that women, we are the harshest critics sometimes of ourselves. You fear to make mistakes. The reason why we seem to be walking on eggshells all the time. You want to be perfect in the decision you make, and you make the right one. I think because of our leadership type as women generally. But we need to, outlearn that and know that, yes, decisions are made. And have you been careful to note when men make wrong decisions, the discussion happens and people move on. But women fear to make wrong decisions. And it's part of leadership. You will always find the good and the bad decisions coming here and there. And that will take us to this discussion in Sudan. Sudan surprised us with the Bashir, saga, His Excellency there. And of course, who but no other than the women, and especially the young women, brought about that revolution in that country. I think those are cases where we have to have a conversation on. Do we see more of that happening? Honourable, can that kind of thing happen in Uganda here? Can women lead such a strong revolution, or even just engagement? Are we ready for that? What do we learn from Sudan, not the South Sudan?
Honourable, I think we have a lot to learn from what happened in Sudan. First of all, for me, what happened in Sudan shows clearly that women have a lot of power. Wow. Once a woman wakes up, then the rest will definitely wake up. Absolutely. Just like it happened in Sudan. Once the women left the farms, left the kitchen, and they found themselves on the street.
Without food.
Else. Yes.
Yes.
So to me, women are leaders. And they are very commanding.
Wow.
Yes. That's why when they led this revolution, how many revolutions have we had in Africa, for example?
Quite a number.
Quite a number.
Yes.
I remember at one time, even in my constituency, there were some issues where people were killing the young border men. The women led the demonstration from wherever the thing was happening from up to the police station, and it was really
massive.
Massive.
I remember even the issue of land. Since the women in the north are very serious revolutionaries and they take charge.
Yes.
I've not seen those kind of actions in other parts of the country here in Uganda.
Yeah, so for me, I think we have so many gender-related, gender-based oppressions. Yes, really the issues of women's rights that we can really place ourselves and address and deal with these issues, just like the men it happened in Sudan.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So for me, I think women should be able to really realize and see that they have the ability to do so many things. And by the way, when they speak, after all, we are the mothers. All these men you see around outside there, in one way or the other, they are connected to us.
Absolutely.
So I think that
in all ways, we should be encouraged. Women have power. We are connected to men in various ways, and we should claim our space. That's what you are saying.
Yeah. So we really need to claim our space.
Yeah.
It's there. Nobody will do it for us. We have to come out and really claim for this space.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think this is a very rich conversation that I'm very hesitant to end. I don't know if you have any comments, but we should be winding up, Joy. I think we shall continue. We need a specific discussion around women's contribution in these revolutions. So many revolutions are happening. One like when I was trying to cause a revolution in Uganda in her own ways, but across Africa. There are so many revolutions happening, and the women's contribution, even here in Uganda, we know of the NRM revolution, and there are very few women who are talked about in line with that revolution. So I would like us to begin winding up, just to make our last comments in terms of what our hopes, our aspirations as leaders should be going forward in this region. I don't know, maybe we could start with Joanna there, Joan here and Joy, and then wind up with our guest, and we call it a day.
I think my aspirations as a leader are that we can realize a society where young women are able to take up space and also break the stereotypes that as young people we cannot comment on issues that affect our countries or our communities simply because of our age difference.
Yeah.
For me, that is very important, starting from nurturing student leaders in politics to help them have an understanding of issues that affect the country. I think for me that would be it, because now what we have is that institutions are not really creating leaders who think, and as a result we have copy and paste everywhere in hospitals, in different sectors of our country. So it's important to me that we look at leadership in context of young women who are energetic and can run and say, police, this is wrong, the killings of the women are not right, you know, and hold leaders accountable.
Wow, that is very inspiring. At least, Joanna, you have this space now. In our time and the times of our predecessors, there was no mentorship in any way. But at least so many things are happening around growing leaders deliberately. And I want to thank you for being here, representing that team. Joy, you might have a few comments here and there as we wind up.
I think a word for the young women who are out there and they want to venture into these leadership positions, be it politics, corporate, or be your own leader, you know, in your community, is just keep at it. You have all it takes. You have very great mentors out here, such as Honourable Santa and Honourable Monicah. We have so many.
We are honored.
We have information everywhere, and believe that you also can take this space and you can make a difference in your own way, as you say it. So be encouraged, and that's it.
Thank you very much. Be encouraged, young women, leaders, any woman who wants to aspire for bigger things, not just in politics. This is not just about politics, but leaders in all spaces. We want to see more women, more honorable, more women everywhere. What are your aspirations and hopes for women, but also for our countries in the Great Lakes region?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I always want to keep hope alive. Yes, I want to encourage women out there, the young women and those ones who are already serving in leadership positions, that the sky is the limit. Let's really take charge of our destiny. Yes, and I want to say that leadership is a journey. Yes, where you meet a lot of challenges, you have to be persistent. For example, when you look at our leadership at the apex, you find out that women normally come and try once. For example, Mama Biria, Betty Kamia. You see, there's this need of being persistent. You know, we have the ability. We have to encourage ourselves. We need this social network, because when women stand together in solidarity, just like it happened in Sudan, we can really go a long way. So for me, I'm here encouraging women out there, both the young ones and those ones who are already involved in different leadership positions, whether be it political, whether be it civil services or what, that really they stand up and really occupy these spaces, that we have them out there and we stand in solidarity with one another. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very important points there for signing off. And I think also from my side, taking up the space Let us take up these spaces. They are not for any other people, but women aside with men. And that is why on this show, I would like to encourage more women. We are running a campaign around getting more women contest in the direct seats in Uganda, and also replicate these lessons across the regions, because other countries are still learning from this nation, Uganda, in terms of women participation in leadership. So I would like to encourage us, and it's a good note to end at. This conversation continues, and it will continue on this particular program, Women on the Frontline, where we bring to you cases and stories of women who have contributed in governance, who continue to inspire, and those stories to be shared with other women and also across the region. So we build a case for more women, but also encourage more women to take up the space. You have done me so well, and our viewers today. I think the young women have done us so well. Honourable, your story is so good. I hope that we can get you more in different spaces. We've not had enough of you. But I encourage you to work with Joanna here to write your story. Write your story. Yes, and blow your own trumpet in many ways. I've been Monicah Amoding. We are hoping to bring you more women in our next show. Do not miss it. 2 to 3 p.m. every Saturday. Follow us, like us, share our stories with other women across this region as we grow this network of women leaders in this region. We've been blessed by having your viewership this evening. Thank you so much for connecting today. We look forward to seeing you on our next program. Shalom.